Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday, August 3rd, 2026. It's the education and learning theme that we have on Mondays, involving learning and about teaching English and also just teaching English. So let's get started. Let me grab a spotlight here. This will be a quick video, 7 minutes maybe. All right, so let's get started. Let's go to a typical online classroom. Of course, there's real classrooms which have a different etiquette. I have to move this thing down here. I don't think I'll just corrects it somehow. Just put it over here, maybe. Okay, so as you can see, every classroom, whether it's a real classroom or an online classroom, has rules. Hopefully that the students can see. They need to be respectful. They need to listen carefully. They need to speak clearly and not worry about making mistakes because mistakes are how we all learn. They need to try their best and to have fun. Okay. So a classroom should have something, that the camera, wherever my teacher's camera is, my rules are generally behind me. This is more visual for you to see. Let's go down here. August 3rd, 2026, Education and Learning, the 10 biggest mistakes English learners make and how to fix them. Okay, this would be our outline for today. Let's start. Mistake number one, translating every sentence they read, they're putting it all into their language and then back. A better way is for them to memorize the context, like apple. They see the word apple, they also see a picture in their brain. Our brains actually store images with feelings and emotions attached to the actual images. So that's a deep way that language is embedded into all our brains, you could say. So if they don't know that apple is in this case, a red apple, that's delicious and all that other stuff, they're going to just see the word apple and then they're going to translate word to word in their brain on every word in that sentence. That's going to slow them down a lot. It's called a functional deficiency, really, is what that is. Because the better somebody gets with the language, they're not putting it like if I'm learning Thai, I'm not changing every word from Thai to English, and then translating one at a time. I'm hopefully putting each word into a meaning, a picture meaning, and then reading every sentence. So we're thinking in English via pictures. That's the idea. Pictures and feelings and emotions that we've attached to the word and the picture. That's kind of how our brains work. Mistake two, being afraid to speak. That's a very common one because there's all kinds of personality types. Um, if they're extroverted and they like to speak, you're not going to have a problem with a student like that. But if they're introverted and shy, maybe they have domineering parents on either side of them and they're afraid to make a mistake in front of them. I've seen that many times. We have to reassure them and the parents that, hey, I'm the teacher in this classroom. Let the student be comfortable with me. If they're talking too much, I say to them, you're interfering with my classroom. Please talk less. And sure, you may lose a student, but it's better to lose that student because of domineering parents than to have them influence the quality of teaching. They need to relinquish control to the teacher. It's as simple as that. It's a trust. I trust the parents to be able to do that, and they need to trust me that I can fully engage their student at that point. I need the student's attention on me and the whiteboard or the computer screen that I'm sharing and not on their parents, right? That's a that's a division of not only authority but also attention. Mistake number three: memorizing vocabulary without context. That's what we talked about actually in this picture. You just learn apple and you don't know what apple really means, or you make a mistaken identity to that word, to what it really means, then you have a future problem of correcting that. And it's much harder to correct a mistake once it's learned than it is to just teach right in the first place. Number four, ignoring pronunciation. Oh, you cannot do that. What I do when I'm teaching is as they're speaking, I correct within the sentence. Like if they say, um, I mowed my bed this morning, I'll let them finish the sentence and then I'll underline the word made and I'll say, look at me, look at my mouth and listen. It's not mod, it's made. Point to your mouth, my mouth, made. And then you do it. And then once they get it, then I have them repeat it 3, 5, 10 times until we've overwritten that uh, incorrectly learned pronunciation pattern. Mistake number five, not listening and not. Yeah, there's two meanings to that. One is sometimes if you have, I think for every 100 students, I will get 10 that are poor listeners, or better yet, weak listeners. And if that's the case, I have to speak even slower than average. And I have to make sure that they are understanding what little they are listening to from me. On the flip side of this, you want to get them listening much more on their own through podcasts, English TV, and English YouTube. Even, you know, places where in class with me, they're not here with me. They need to do it on their own. And then their brain gets accustomed to hearing the pronunciation and even the idioms and the tonal expressions, how most languages are spoken, right? Mistake number six, studying grammar only. No, grammar is just one part of it, right? The weakest skill of all four skills would be speaking, because any student has very little opportunity in general to practice output, such as speaking. They can do the other skills, such as listening and reading on their own. They're often very strong in listening and reading, um, and sometimes even writing. But the speaking, well, unless your parents speak the language like English, or they have friends that speak the English, they're not going to get hardly any practice at this speaking component. Mistake number seven, inconsistent practice. Yeah, I always divide my private teaching up into at least 2 or 3 days a week, depending on their budget, right? Even 20 minutes a day beats 2 hours once a week, or even 1 hour once a week, right? Um, Often I'll get some dedicated students that'll do, usually if they're young students, 25-minute classes is perfect for them, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. But if they're older, they can generally do 40-minute to 60-minute classes. 2 or 3 times a week is ideal. And if budget is not a concern to them, do it 5 days a week or even daily. Mistake number eight, not getting feedback. A teacher or language partner can help identify weaknesses. Yes. And I'm on year 11 of teaching English, and you actually pick this up as you go. Because most of the time, for most classes, we're not saying, hey, how did I do as a teacher, right? We're just maybe looking at parental feedback remarks if they're online, or if it's a real classroom, we have other teachers or teaching assistants that give us feedback too. And it's a constant work in progress. And we never, as teachers, stop learning. We're always learning, just like the students. Final tips. Teach the students to create a daily English habit. Build a routine that includes reading with your eyes, listening with your ears, speaking with your mouth, and writing with your hand. Those are the four general skills. Final tips, celebrate small improvements. Stay motivated and enjoy the learning process. So with very young children, you want to have a reward system, right? I tend to really encourage through words like Great job, Elsie. Wow, you are doing good. You are so smart. I'm proud of you. I'll put that in there. It's something I never got a lot as a child, right? Especially from my father. But because of that, I have the contrast to know that it's so important to build their, you could say, build their confidence and their ego in a positive manner. So I try to instill in all students that mistakes are proof that you are not only trying, but you're learning and you're growing. We learn through mistakes. The trick is to make small mistakes and many of them rather than, you know, gigantic, catastrophic mistakes such as breaking your leg, right? But even then, we can learn. All right. In conclusion, we wrapped up August 3rd, 2026. Monday's theme, English and education. Remember, every day of the week we have a theme, except for weekends. Generally on the weekend, I'm filming and editing the filming, adding music, because I tend to have a lot of research. That's just the way I do things. There's a lot of good hosts on YouTube that are very charismatic. They probably should have been movie stars, really. That's how good some of them are. I'm not really into that. I'm into because if I'm doing any of these things, and generally it's a new city every week, even if I don't get any subscribers or followers, I'm winning by doing and by learning. To me, learning is the reward. So I hope you appreciate my structured style, and the filming will come. I just finished filming a three-part episode on beautiful Sunset Boulevard in Iloilo City. It was like a 10-kilometer walk there and back total. And I've got 30 to 40 minutes of film. I'm going to break into three parts, 10-minute segments. And I'll have the aspect ratio right this time, 16:9. So it'll show up on a big screen TV. And yeah, see, I'm learning too. I'm learning how to use CapCut editor and I'm learning producing, directing, and filming and editing. All right. So we talked about these 10 biggest mistakes in learning English right here. Generally from the student's point of view is what that means. So thank you again for watching. Please support this channel. It's on both YouTube, Robin in Southeast Asia, as well as my Facebook channel of the same name. Uh, Click like, your thumbs up for me, and follow or subscribe. Follow and subscribe are generally the same idea. And if you're interested in teaching English online, a very good platform that I work for is called LingoWays. Here, however, you need a degree, even if it's an arts degree, and you need a TESOL teaching certificate. And then you can apply here and you can get to work, right? Teaching any ages, but they're generally age 3 to 10 will be the common ages on LingoWays. All right, thank you again, and we'll see you in our next video. Have a great day.